Hey, yo, brother DJ. What's good, man? Who's this hoop jogging? Man, let me show you.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hoop Jogging back with another video. Your HBCU blog in the building, man. And so I just got off a live with my boy DJ Ron Cut Video, #new media. And I got to ask y'all, man, to lend me your ear for a few minutes, man. And so before we get started, man, let's do the YouTube stuff. Y'all can like and subscribe to the page. That'd be awesome. We can keep this content rolling. Without further ado, let's talk about Jackson State being undefeated in the SWAC. Well, undefeated overall, for that matter. Now, they started off with a mollywop with Edward Waters, and so, man, no disrespect to the program. 53-0. 53-0. The usual suspects killed. And, man, we'll talk about that. It's nothing to brag about. Edward Waters is a program. I remember myself being at Prairie View. That's a program we brought in, to play during homecoming. Everybody feel good, everybody eat good, everybody drink good and go home. So, 53-0. We're not going to talk too much about that game. But the first real test was against Mississippi Valley State University out in Ittabena, Mississippi. I almost said universe. It's almost like its own university. You ever been to Ittabena, Mississippi, you know what I'm talking about. So, Valley, they're far removed from the Jerry Rice days. That's okay. As you know, their last full season was in 2019. They were 2-9. So this is, all due respect, this is a bottom-feeder team in the SWAC. And one thing I did notice about Jackson is they aired out deep on them, man. And that's one thing I did like about the firepower they have. And you know what's funny? This is like Jackson's B team. Ain't that hard to take in? This is low-key their B team because all they 4-star, 3-star, like hardheads who did not play in the fall, you're going to really see what Jackson is next year. But let's just focus on right now. So Jackson aired the ball deep, man, and David Baldwin did his thing, so it's good to see that air show going. Because in the SWAC, here's the thing, man. You see a lot of dinking and ducking sometimes. You see a lot of air passes. So it's good to see, Jalen Jones doing his thing. They went up 30-0 at halftime on Valley. And so that's pretty much what you're going to see a lot of against non-formidable teams. And we're going to talk about the Grambling game as well, for y'all holding on. So hold your horses, goddog. Now, what I wanted to point out is, Jackson made Valley pay on defense, causing turnovers, man, and that's what you want to see. Like, that causes a winning nucleus. You got to play both sides of football. You just can't play offense all the time. You got to be willing to lock in and go with the hog maulers, as they call them. You push the O-line backwards, and you go out there and make plays. And I'll talk about this in one thing we've seen in this game and in the Grambling game that Jackson State does very well. And exactly what I'm speaking about is the red zone defense, man. And so, Valley had some situations where they had to score, and Jackson kept stopping in the red zone. And that shows you a team that is disciplined. So I know a lot of people get on prime about being flashy. You always want to be at the front. But you have a team that locks in on defense, and I think that is something not to be dismissed. And so I think that's a good thing. And then if you watch the game, Valley had a great fake punt situation. And they had great field position. They did not score because, again, the discipline clicked in and they locked in. And so I think as a program going forward, there's a very great attribute to look at to move forward as far as the season is concerned. So, again, this is a team that does not get rattled by big plays, which is definitely an element of a very successful team. But we'll move forward. I mean, it was a mollywop just like Edward Waters. It was 43-7. Even though Valley had a lot of opportunities to score further, they just couldn't capitalize. So let's move forward to the rivalry game against Grambling State University. And so for y'all who just kind of get into the HBCU experience, Grambling, no lie, is the standard for football in the HBCU realm. Like, this is what this is what the best looks like, man. And Grambling probably has the most SWAC championships. Eddie Robinson, he made the standard, man. All the greats that you can name, man, all play under him, man. One of my late friends, Robert Atkins, man, he played under Eddie Robinson. He went on to play for the Houston Oilers in the NFL. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of legacy in that program. So Jackson State had a lot to come to going into the depths of Ruston or Grambling, Louisiana, however you want to, denote the demarcation of that landscape. Now, Gramblin's come off a 6-5 season in 2019, but Grambling, again, you don't go to Grambling and have an easy game. And I don't care if it's a COVID era or not. It is what it is. So, again, Jalen Jones showed out. And I got to say, man, I saw great frontline defense, and great special teams play in the red zone early from Jackson State. And so I know that the show is going to be the offense, but your championships are won defensively. I think we all can agree to that, right? Let the church say amen. But I got to give Jalen Jones a lot of credit, man, because, you know, here's the thing. You're not going to be starting next year, man. We all know Deion Sanders is going to be the quarterback. I wonder where that brother's going to go past this point. But I got to give him his credit, man. Being a 6'4" quarterback, he's very, precise in the red zone. Like, because what you see a lot of times in SWAC competition, unfortunately, is failed conversions once you get in the red zone because, the field shrinks, so the margin of error increases. And so I got to give him credit, man. He's cool in the pocket. He does not turn the ball over when he gets rushing, coming in the pocket. Either way, he's throwing the ball away, he uses his feet. I think that gives him a lot of credit of being a dual threat quarterback. So I do want to point that out about, Mr. Jones and what he does back there behind center. And I also got to give credit to Grambling, man, that they did a great job of confusing them early with misdirection, with the quarterback keepers. Early they got them red zone, possessions where they can do, the zone read and the running back running it in. So that's great scheme, man. And that's, because you always keep the defense guessing. And I think that was a great job that Grambling presented early. And it was a very, very tight game, as we all know. Now, I think the game-breaking moment is when, Jalen threw the ball to Baldwin on that it was like a little 7-yard comeback route. Ended up going damn near 70 yards, man, for the touchdown. And I think that broke the game open from this methodical, show a little zone read, show a little quarterback scramble. And that's when it turned into, more of a big yard gaining situation going forward. And so I really, really liked where the game went after that point. And it kind of shows the versatility that Jackson State has with Jalen Jones behind center. Because as we know, if you have a dual threat quarterback running a zone read scheme, you got to account, for the running back too. As we know, the two-headed monster with Alexander and Clark, Jackson State got that covered. But I got to give love to Hickenbottom, man. He did a great job too, man. Similar in stature. In my opinion, not as dynamic, as Jalen. However, he did a very good job, man. And DJ Clark was his main target. And, man, that boy's a ball player for real, man. He's a ball player. So this was a great game to watch as far as a back and forth, like a tennis match, man, with Andy Roddick and you name him, Federer. It just was a good back and forward game, man. And that's what you want to see at this level with two high-powered offenses. And that kind of led to where the game kind of came to its crescendo, where, with Jones being a dual-threat quarterback, he basically set up a flurry of zone reads. And then finally, he had they ran the ball in and they went up 33-28. And that's where the game got crazy. Because right after that, Jackson goes and fumbles in the red zone, and then Grambling takes over, and they start playing the If y'all know the HBCU experience, man, ain't nothing like Grambling's fight, so I gotta give him props. So then the game takes its own inflection. Grambling drives all the way down the field. And they had a controversial call where it could have been a touchdown, but the receiver was down. So it was spotted at the 2-yard line. So they had a great run play. And I got to give credit to the ESPN announcer. He's like, why are they rushing? They sure took their time with this. They tried to punch the ball in, and they fumbled right on the red zone, right at the 2-yard line in the red zone. And guess who the culprit was? Aubrey Miller from Missouri, four-star linebacker prospect, punches the ball out. And the game ends in this crazy finish, 33-28. Jackson State University on top when Grambling had the walk-in victory. But it is what it is, man. And so they're undefeated right now. They're a great program to watch. Now, they're going to be 3 other games to watch, man. They're going to have Alabama A&M, who has a pro prospect at quarterback, Prairie View A&M, who also beat Grambling 17-10. And they also going to have a competition with Southern, man. Southern University, I don't care who's on the team. They're always going to pose a threat. So y'all keep your eyes open to HBCU Connect. Plug. Let's let y'all know what's going on. And, man, let's keep an eye on all HBCU sports for that matter, in particular Grambling. So we will talk to you next time. Peace.